Welcome back to the Facts Matrix. Today, we re-diving into the epic rise and tragic fall of Shaka Zulu, the story of how an outcast child forged scattered cattle herders into a terrifying war machine, unleashed a firestorm across an entire region, and built a kingdom that would one day challenge the mighty British Empire. His life is a saga of brutal genius, relentless ambition, and heartbreaking tragedy. This is the tale of a man born in exile who rose to become one of the most powerful and controversial leaders in African history. Shaka Zulu was born around 1787 in what is now South Africa's KwaZulu-Natal province. His father, Senzangakona, was chief of the small Zulu clan, and his mother, Nandi, was the daughter of a neighboring chief. But their union was not official, and in a society where status was everything, their son was deemed illegitimate. Cast out and shamed, Nandi and the young Shaka were forced to wander, surviving humiliation and hardship. But those years of rejection didn't break him. They forged him. He learned a harsh lesson early on. The world respects only strength. Eventually, they found refuge with the Mthethwa people, ruled by the powerful King Dingiswayo. Here, Shaka grew into a tall, disciplined warrior with an unquenchable thirst to prove himself. His courage was legendary. During one raid, what should have been a simple cattle theft turned into a massacre when Shaka ordered his men to pursue and kill nearly an entire tribe. Dingiswayo scolded him for the needless violence, but he also saw the unmistakable fire of a future leader. To grasp Shaka's impact, you have to understand the world he was born into. The Zulus were just one of many clans scattered across southeastern Africa. Life revolved around cattle. They were the currency of wealth, the price of a bride, and the key to survival. Battles were chaotic affairs, fought with long throwing spears called assegai. It was a world that valued strength and loyalty, and Shaka was about to turn it completely upside down. By the late 1700s, the region was becoming overcrowded. Clans fought fiercely for grazing land and resources. When Shaka's father died in 1816, the chieftainship passed to another son. But Shaka, now a respected commander in Dingiswayo's army, saw his chance. With his mentor's backing, he returned to Zululand, had his half-brother assassinated, and seized the throne by force. The outcast had finally returned as king. Shaka initially ruled under Dingiswayo's authority, but when his mentor was killed by King Zwide of the rival Ndwandwe clan, the alliance collapsed. Shaka inherited Dingiswayo's followers, absorbing them into his own growing nation. Now finally independent, he began to build a new kind of power, one forged in unity, discipline, and relentless war. His first great test came almost immediately. Zwide's Ndwandwe army, larger and stronger than the Zulus, marched south. But Shaka had already begun to revolutionize warfare. He replaced the long throwing spear with a short, deadly stabbing spear called the Iklwa, designed for brutal close-quarters combat. He drilled his men relentlessly, organizing them into disciplined regiments called impis. In 1818, the two armies met at the Battle of Gqokli Hill. Outnumbered 2-1, Shaka used the high ground and his warriors' discipline to perfection. He sent out small units to harass the enemy and cut off their supplies, waiting until thirst and confusion weakened them. Then, with devastating timing, he unleashed a hidden reserve of warriors from behind, trapping the Ndwandwe between two forces. Thousands were slaughtered. This victory made Shaka a legend. By 1819, he had crushed Zwide's forces completely, absorbing their lands and people. The Zulu Empire was born. Shaka wasn't just a king anymore. He was a symbol of unstoppable power. His army perfected the bullhorn formation. The chest would pin the enemy, while the horns swept around to encircle and annihilate them. Discipline was absolute. Cowardice meant death. Loyalty brought reward and status. But this new empire was built on constant warfare. From 1816 to 1828, Shaka's campaigns tore through southern Africa in a period historians call the Mifakane, or the Crushing. Entire communities vanished. Refugees fled in every direction, spreading Zulu military tactics across the continent. It was one of the most violent and transformative periods in African history, with scholars estimating that hundreds of thousands died and millions were displaced. Yet amid the chaos, Shaka built a highly organized state. He broke the old clan system, promoting men based on merit, not birth. He controlled all trade and demanded tribute from conquered peoples. His capital, Bulawayo, the place of death, was a symbol of his reign. A massive, orderly settlement where every action was dictated by strict ritual. Early European traders who visited described his court as both incredibly disciplined and utterly terrifying. By the mid-1820s, the Zulu kingdom was a formidable power, and Shaka ruled over hundreds of thousands. But as his power grew, so did his paranoia. He saw enemies everywhere. In 1824, after a commander failed in a raid, Shaka had him executed and ordered the destruction of the entire tribe they had just attacked, leaving no survivors. It was around this time that British traders established an outpost on the coast, the future city of Durban. Shaka allowed them to trade, but trusted no one. His focus remained on absolute control. Then, in October 1827, tragedy struck. His mother Nandi, the one person who had shown him unwavering love, died. Her death plunged Shaka into a dark spiral of grief and madness. He declared a year of national mourning. No crops could be planted, no cows could be milked. Anyone who didn't show sufficient sorrow was executed on the spot. The kingdom starved, paralyzed by fear. Even his most loyal followers began to whisper that the king had lost his mind. By 1828, a conspiracy was brewing within his own family. Two of his half-brothers, Dingiswayo and Malangana, decided the only way to save the kingdom was to kill the king. On September 22nd, they entered his royal enclosure with a few conspirators. As Shaka scolded them, they struck, stabbing him again and again. As he fell, he is said to have uttered a chilling prophecy. "Are you stabbing me, kings of the earth? You will come to an end through killing one another." The most powerful ruler in southern Africa was dead at just 41. Dingiswayo seized the throne, but the empire Shaka built was already facing new threats. Dutch settlers, known as Boers, were moving north, clashing with the Zulus. In 1838, at the Battle of Blood River, thousands of Zulu warriors were cut down by the Boers' fortified wagons and rifles. The defeat shattered Dingiswayo's authority, but the final challenge was yet to come. By the late 1800s, the British Empire was determined to control all of southern Africa. When King Dingiswayo refused to disband his army, Britain invaded, sparking the Anglo-Zulu War of 1879. In a stunning victory, 20,000 Zulu warriors overran a British camp at the Battle of Isandlwana, handing the empire one of its worst defeats ever. But the triumph was short-lived. The British returned with Gatling guns and artillery, crushing the Zulu army at the Battle of Ulundi. In 1887, Zululand was annexed. The kingdom Shaka had forged was gone. Even so, Shaka's legacy endures. Was he a visionary nation-builder who unified warring tribes, or a ruthless tyrant whose ambition caused untold suffering? The truth, as always, is complex. He revolutionized warfare, forged a powerful Zulu identity, and changed the course of African history forever. His reign was brief, but its echoes are still felt today. What do you think? Was Shaka Zulu a hero or a villain? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this dive into history, please like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching The Facts Matrix, and we'll see you next time, when The Facts Matrix brings you more facts about people, places, and beyond.